Welcome back to Window Politics. Today we're going to be doing a prediction between the current governor of Michigan, Governor Gretchen Whitmer, on the Democratic side versus the Republican challenger, in this case, J.D. Vance, the current vice president, on the Republican side. So we'll start out with the state of Nevada and then move eastward. So in Nevada, I will call this for the Democrat, Gretchen Whitmer, by a lean margin. Whitmer has definitely attempted to appeal to Republicans and moderates in general of both parties. She, of course, generally has the backing of virtually every Democrat because that's the party she's in, but she has been able to reach out to independents and even some Republicans. She's appeared at Trump rallies and has definitely made an effort to reach out to people who may always not completely agree with her on everything, but she still is able to, in some cases, earn their vote. She's done quite well as the governor of Michigan in a state that has kind of been slipping away from Democrats. She's held strong in her governor elections, and I think that she would do quite well on the national landscape. I think she'd be a strong challenger for Democrats to put forward. But that's going to be the state of Nevada. Next up, we're going to head over to the state of Arizona. I'm going to add a tilt rating. I think the tilt rating will be needed for this state. I'm going to put the state of Arizona in the tilt blue column. I think Democrats can win this in the long run. I think the four states of Nevada, Arizona, Georgia, and North Carolina, also known as the Sun Belt, will get more and more Democratic friendly as the years go on, and it'll be interesting to see what happens with the Rust Belt. The Rust Belt used to virtually be safe blue. Michigan and Pennsylvania used to be pretty reliably Democratic states. Wisconsin was Democratic friendly, but definitely the more competitive of the three. But ever since in kind of the era of Trump, since he first won those three in 2016, the three states have kind of become more and more Republican friendly. Wisconsin has senators from opposing political parties. Pennsylvania does too. Michigan has two Democratic senators. The three states, all three have Democratic governors, though, so a bit of a mixed bag, but that's going to be the call there in Arizona. And then speaking, we'll head over to Georgia. Georgia, going to put that into the tilt blue. North Carolina, tilt red, giving opposing calls on these two states. I think that Vance will get the first bit of good news for his campaign in the state of North Carolina. Well, Gretchen Whitmer will win the state of Georgia. Biden was able to win Georgia. It was the narrowest state in 2020 that he was still able to win it. And I think that just like Biden tried to have some moderate appeal, I think Gretchen Whitmer would also do pretty well with that. And I think that would really allow for her to win as a Democrat in Georgia and Arizona, which are going to be somewhat hard for Democrats to win. I think a more progressive Democrat like AOC or something would probably end up losing those two states, but a more moderate like Gretchen Whitmer, I think, would do well enough to win both of them by a tilt margin. And then, next state, we're going to head over to Wisconsin. Kind of hinted at this one earlier. Michigan, this is Whitmer's home state. I think she'd be pretty easily able to win this one. And then Wisconsin, 10 electoral college votes, neighboring state. Although it should be noted that J.D. Vance is also from the Rust Belt area. He was a senator from the state of Ohio before he became Trump's running mate and then vice president. So that I think that he would, if it were a different candidate on the Republican side, I think Ohio would probably be in the lean red margin. But because it's Vance's home state, I think it will move up to likely red. Ultimately, it doesn't really matter that much because Gretchen Whitmer's at 284. And then lastly, we have the state of Pennsylvania. This one I'm going to put into the tilt blue column. I think it will be a little more narrow than Michigan and Wisconsin. I think if, for example, Shapiro were the Democratic candidate, that the state would be in the lean. I think if Shapiro were the Democratic candidate, all three of those states would be. But Whitmer certainly performing well, ending up with 303 electoral college votes to J.D. Vance's 235. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.